There's a strong chance if you have weak glutes, your back will hurt at some point. Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Coach Brian Klepacki, certified strength coach. I'm also a certified functional movement specialist. And there's a good chance if you're watching this video, you're suffering from lower back pain. Unfortunately, it's very common, especially in Western civilization where we actually sit on our butt all the time. And having weak glutes is a direct effect on how our back receives or acknowledges just poor biomechanics. And what I mean by that is that when the glutes are in a seated position, they're relaxed. They become dormant or inhibited. This is not a good thing because our glutes, if you know anything about the glutes and the function that they're responsible for, they are responsible for many different functions, especially when we talk about movement. They're kind of like the powerhouse of the body. So if your glutes are ineffective, weak, dormant, things like that, it's going to have a chain effect and it's going to affect other parts of the body, especially the lower back. Because they're neighbors. Here's the glutes, the lower back is right on top, and they actually work on top of each other and through each other. So it's important to make sure you get strong glutes. So your glutes play a key role in helping take stress off your spine during multiplanar movements. That's because the muscles help control movements of the torso, pelvis, hips, and legs, and so on. So when you bend forward or squat, for example, your hips should bend backwards to help counterbalance the forward motion. The glutes also help decelerate flexion of your hips to help counteract the downward pull of gravity and prevent your lower spine from over-rounding forward. So if your glutes aren't strong enough to help with your hips, stabilize them when they bend backwards, your spine is actually going to have to take the brunt of the stress, and that's not a good thing. You want your spine out of the equation. You want the muscles to do all the work. So I'm going to share with you a couple other bits of information on how the glutes have a direct effect on rotational movement in just a second. But then following that, I want to make sure you're not missing out on what might be the most important aspect of this video. Is I'm going to show you some recovery techniques that you can apply to help alleviate your lower back pain, but also help strengthen your glutes. So let's talk about rotational movements for a second. Much of the rotational movement stress experienced by the spine during certain activities like golf, baseball, tennis, things like that, is moderated by the gluteus maximus muscle. This is your biggest muscle of your glute. So when the spine rotates over the leg on one side of the body, the hip and leg should also rotate to take the stress off the lower back. Because the glutes attach to the structures of spine and pelvis into the legs, rotation of the hip and leg should engage and lengthen this muscle. This will help decelerate rotation of the torso. So if your glutes, again, if they're weak, the spine is actually going to do all the rotational movement, not the hips, not the glutes. So it's important to strengthen the glutes to save the lower back. Now there's one other movement that not many people are too familiar with, especially when it talks about glutes and lower back. It's side-to-side movement. This is like your lateral plane of motion. So think of a person leaning one side to the other. So that, again, the glutes are responsible for keeping the back safe in this plane of motion. So side-to-side movement stress to the spine is moderated by the smaller muscles of the glute complex. The glute medius and glute minimus. These are the smaller muscles of the three. So as the spine moves from left to right as a person takes alternating steps when walking or running, the pelvis should also move from side to side. The shifting motion of the pelvis with the torso is decelerated by the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus because of their attachments to the pelvis and also to the side of the hip and leg. So again, I'm sure you can see the pattern here. If your glutes are strong, they're actually going to help prevent excessive movement in the hips and also the spine, allowing the musculature of the body to do the work, saving the bony structures of the spine and also the pelvis. So the glutes are responsible for all three planes of motion, and that's why it's so important to strengthen your glutes. So before you want to strengthen your glutes, you might be suffering some kind of glute pain. The best way to do this is wake up your glutes and also repair your glutes. I'm holding right here a tennis ball, and I also have a foam roller right here on the floor. These two tools are probably the best tools to use if you suffer from any type of lower back pain. Again, just because your lower back pain hurt or your lower back is in pain doesn't mean that's the site or the cause of your back pain. It's usually going to be found from the glutes. So what you need to do, this is my first recommendation. Think of this as pinpoint, and this is broad. So I'm going to start with the pinpoint. I'm just going to lay down on my back, putting the tennis ball right under my butt there, right on the glute. And just gonna kind of roll around a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see the tennis ball, but I'm just rolling around side to side. Not too much pressure. Obviously, if you put all your weight on it, it'll be more intense. Rolling side to side, you know, shifting the ball around, rolling my body around as well. Now, if you find a hot spot, is what I call it, like right there might be a tender spot. You kind of want to hover around it. And if you've seen any of my previous videos of foam rolling, you know exactly what I'm referring to as a hot spot and how to roll it out. You know, you could always walk your way up to the lower part of the back and start relieving some pressure there. Again, the body is very sensitive to touch, and when you start touching certain trigger points or hot spots, your brain does some miraculous things on how to recover properly. All you need to do is spend maybe 30 seconds doing that, even a minute. Just trying to figure it out, trying to wake it up, trying to get some fresh feedback from the brain to that muscle to say, hey, there's some damage down there that I want to help repair. If the tennis ball is too intense for you, a foam roller is going to be another option for you. This is a little more broad, a little more uniform across your glutes. Same thing applies, kind of downward pressure, rolling side to side, trying to find that hot spot. And then once you find that hot spot, you spend a little time on it, just rolling back and forth, trying to smooth it out, trying to get rid of any kinks. And you can do the same thing on your lower back. This is not a meaty part of the body, so you might feel like a lot of pressure on the bone. So just focus on the glutes and maybe incorporate some tennis ball work with the foam roller, and you're gonna start feeling relief in a very short amount of time. I would recommend doing this as much as you can throughout the day, all day, morning, noon, and night. It doesn't have to be around exercise. So speaking of exercise, we just did 2 recovery exercises, or showed you 2 techniques. There's a couple different exercises that you can use to help strengthen your glutes and also alleviate lower back pain as well. Any type of muscle activation, my personal favorite is called a glute squeeze. It might be a little awkward at first, but this is a great way to wake up your glutes. Lay down on your stomach. You can put your head on your hands there, and you're just squeezing your glutes. Squeezing the cheeks and relaxing. Squeeze and relax. Squeeze and relax. Now hopefully you can see my butt moving a little bit. And relax. Squeeze. 5 reps, 5-second reps, 5-second holds is adequate enough to really get the muscle fibers and the neurological response that is needed for the muscle to be woken up, per se. That's great. Another exercise you can do to help waken the glutes up is a glute bridge march. Get right on your back, hips up, and you kind of just start marching in place. Tucking your tailbone back, really waking those glutes up. Again, nice controlled movement, trying to really get those glutes to stabilize the hips. I'm not flailing, I'm not forcing my legs up. I'm keeping everything under control. I would use that exercise maybe 5-10 reps per side, 30 seconds in total. And then another exercise, this is also an activation exercise with some strength in there as well. Clamshell. Stack your feet, open and close. So these 3 exercises I just shared with you, you got your prone glute squeeze, you have your glute bridge march, and you have the clamshell here. These are going to be the 3 exercises that you could use to help alleviate lower back pain, but also strengthen the glutes to help aid in taking away the lower back pain and keeping it away. Now, these 3 exercises aren't it for glute training, but they're just a small sample and hopefully a quick remedy to the pain that you're experiencing. Check out all of our other glute videos that are going to help establish strength in your glutes. But the main thing is right now, you need to get rid of your lower back pain. That's your #1 priority before you actually start strengthening your glutes. So take advantage of the foam roller, the tennis ball, and really incorporate on waking the glutes up, activating them, and also just nice recovery process. And if there's too much pain going on, it might be time to go talk to your doctor, talk to a chiropractor, physical therapist, things like that, and hopefully they're going to be able to diagnose you, and hopefully it's nothing too severe that they can't help you with. So other than that, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this video. If you got any comments or questions, post them now in the comments section below. But just because you watch this, I want to leave you something that's actually going to help you with your glute work, your glute strength. It's a report that I wrote. It's called the 5-minute glute workout. It's right here. You got to get it. Click this box, give us your email. We're going to send you this workout for free right now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking right here, and check out this other video that I know you'll find as helpful as this video right here. That's it. Coach Brian with criticalbench.com. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.